We have a headline from just May 15th, Washington Post: NOAA scrambles to fill forecasting jobs as hurricane season looms. I know that we're scrambling to try and rehire about 100 or hire 126 people, but Mr. Secretary, it's my understanding that as of today, offices in Kansas, Alaska, and Oregon are no longer operating 24 hours a day. Is that accurate?
The department employs 2,100 meteorologists and hundreds of other forecasters. Okay, this is less than 5%. We are fully staffed. There are no openings on the National Hurricane Center. Zero. It is fully staffed. We are fully ready for hurricane season, and our meteorologists
Mr. Secretary,
are fully staffed.
You didn't.
Welcome back to American Mindset, where we dig deeper into what really matters in our country: truth, accountability, and protecting the American way of life. If you care about liberty, limited government, and real American values, you're in the right place. Today, I want to talk about a recent congressional hearing that tells you everything you need to know about how out of touch Washington bureaucrats and politicians really are. We're going to break down the exchange between Senator Van Hollen, your typical Democrat from the swamp, and a cabinet secretary doing his job under fire from the left. Let's watch the video.
All right, but I will call them and I will have it to you.
Thank
no
you
problem.
so much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Chairman Collins, thank you very much. Senator Van Hollen.
Thank you. So, Mr. Secretary, I mentioned in my opening comments the RIF plans. On February 11th, President Trump signed an executive order requiring agency heads to plan, quote, large-scale reductions in force, known as RIFs, and agency reorganization plans. On March 27th, Senator Moran and I sent you a letter requesting that you send us the plans the department submitted to the White House. It's now June 4th. We've not received a response. We're in the middle of a budget hearing. First of all, you would agree, would you not, that your reorganization plans are relevant to the committee's consideration of the budget?
I think our proposal for the budget is clear, so I think it takes those things into account.
Mr. Secretary, let me ask you this. Are you going to provide us with the reorganization plan, and when?
I will certainly get together with the department, and we will consider what information we can give you that makes sense. But I'm happy to work with you offline if you'd like.
Okay, Mr. Secretary, you're aware of the fact that a federal district court ruled that the RIF plans proposed by the Trump administration could not go forward because the judge stated that, quote, agencies may not conduct large-scale reorganizations or reductions in force in blatant disregard of Congress's mandates, and a president may not initiate large-scale executive branch reorganization without partnering with Congress. That decision was upheld by an appellate court just a few days ago. I'm not asking you to opine on that legal decision. I'm simply asking you to provide the committee with the reorganization plan, and your response is maybe yes, maybe no. Am I getting that right? I mean, are you going to provide the plan to this committee as we review the budget for the upcoming year?
Well, we at the department are going to follow the law. That, of course, is what we're going to do.
Okay. Well, the law actually does require that you submit these major changes to the Senate. Let me ask you this. I mentioned in my opening statement the fact that I'd sent a number of letters to you. Our staff has actually sent inquiries to your team. I have a lot of questions today, but they'll be a lot longer unless I can get a commitment that you and your team will respond to the inquiries we've made. These are simple questions. They don't, and I'll set aside for now the RIF plan. And Mr. Chairman, I would ask unanimous consent to submit to the record the letters that I've sent to the Secretary and the staff inquiries that my team has made.
Without objection.
Okay. Mr. Secretary, will you agree, say, within a week to get responses to these inquiries?
I can easily agree that I will go through your letters, and to the extent I can answer them, I will happily answer you within a week.
Well, when you say,
I don't know what the letters
this is
say
an
as I
oversight
sit here right
question.
now. So.
Well, okay, Mr. Secretary, their question. I'll read through some of them later in the hearing. We can go through them one by one. They're pretty straightforward, simple questions about the implications of the department's actions on certain programs. Let me turn to the National Weather Service for a moment because, as you know, originally 600 staff were eliminated from the National Weather Service. Then all of a sudden, it seems the department realized that this was not really a good idea, as many weather stations around the country, and the chairman referenced some of them, said they couldn't be staffed full-time. We have a headline from just May 15th, Washington Post: NOAA scrambles to fill forecasting jobs as hurricane season looms. I know that we're scrambling to try and rehire about 100 or hire 126 people. But, Mr. Secretary, it's my understanding that as of today, offices in Kansas, Alaska, and Oregon are no longer operating 24 hours a day. Is that accurate?
The department employs 2,100 meteorologists and hundreds of other forecasters, okay? This is less than 5%. We are fully staffed. There are no openings on the National Hurricane Center, zero. It is fully staffed. We are fully ready for hurricane season, and our meteorologists
Mr. Secretary,
are fully staffed.
you did not answer
Fully staffed.
You did not answer the direct question about whether those weather offices are open full time, and it's obvious that you all made a huge mistake. I mean, you've acknowledged it by having to rehire 126 people. But can you just comment on whether or not those offices I mentioned are operating 24
We have
hours a
not
day?
made a huge mistake. I did not say such a thing.
I didn't say you did. It's pretty obvious from the actions. I will. As I said, you fired
News
600.
report
You're
was
rehired.
inaccurate, obviously.
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 We're happy to follow up, and you can provide the facts.
Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Secretary, in Kansas, we have lots of men.
First up, Senator Van Hollen goes after the Trump administration's executive order to implement reductions in force, or RIFs, basically cutting bloated government agencies down size. President Trump did what every real leader should do. He asked for a review and reduction of wasteful, overstaffed departments that have grown too fat on taxpayer money. But of course, the left doesn't like that. They need big government to stay bloated. That's how they keep power, create dependency, and grow the administrative state. So what does Van Hollen do? He throws a tantrum over not getting the reorganization plans fast enough. Let me ask you this. Why are we even debating trimming the fat in government? Every hardworking American watching this knows we're taxed too much, and government is too big. Yet when a Republican president takes steps to shrink it, the courts, yes, the liberal courts, step in and block it. Unelected judges overriding elected leadership. You heard right. A district court, and then an appellate court ruled that the Trump administration couldn't go forward with its RIF plans. That's another example of how the judicial system is being weaponized to keep big government in place and to stop any conservative reform. These activist judges say the executive branch can't make organizational decisions without partnering with Congress. Here's the problem. Congress is broken. It doesn't act, it stalls. That's why executive action is necessary. That's why Trump had to take the lead. Then we've got the secretary, trying to do his job, being attacked for not answering questions the way the senator wants. Van Hollen gets upset because the secretary won't jump through his hoops. Listen, the secretary is right to be cautious. These hearings are not about facts. They're about political theater. They're about Democrats trying to score points with their base while pretending to care about budgets they've never once tried to balance. Now here's the kicker. The senator tries to play gotcha politics with the National Weather Service. He claims the department made a huge mistake by reducing staffing, but ignores the fact that the secretary already addressed it. Guess what? The department employs over 2,100 meteorologists. That's not a skeleton crew. And the National Hurricane Center, fully staffed. But that doesn't matter to Van Hollen, because it's not about safety or service. It's about narrative. If Democrats cared so much about readiness, maybe they'd support Border Patrol agents being fully funded. Maybe they'd fund our military without trying to stuff the bills full of pork and DI nonsense. Van Hollen also complains about his letters not being answered. Folks, this is classic Washington posturing. Bureaucrats send each other letters like it's still 1955, and then get mad when someone doesn't write back fast enough. Meanwhile, we the people are out here dealing with inflation, open borders, crime waves, and a broken economy. How about Congress answers our letters for once? This whole hearing is a reminder of why we need to drain the swamp. The Trump administration tried to do exactly that: cut waste, reduce bureaucracy, and streamline government. But between activist judges and power-hungry senators, the system fights back. And that's why the 2024 and 2026 elections matter more than ever. We need leaders who are not afraid to cut useless government jobs, stand up to bloated agencies, Say no to activist judges. And remind the federal bureaucracy who really holds the power. We the people. If you're tired of Washington politicians wasting your tax dollars and blocking real reform, hit that like button. Subscribe to American Mindset, and let's grow this movement. Drop a comment below. Do you think the government is too big? Should we be allowed to reduce the federal workforce? And what do you think about how this secretary handled himself? Let's hear from the real Americans, not the Washington elite. Until next time, stay bold, stay free, and never back down. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.